Alright, it says I'm live. If you guys can hear me, please let me know, and we will get started. Looks like a lively crowd already. I think there's like 40 messages in here. We got 100 people waiting, so that sounds pretty good. I gotta pop the chat out really quick. Hold on. Okay, it's loading. See if I'll just get a drink of water quick. And I'll wait till you guys can hear me, but it looks like there's a lot of people in the chat, so looks like it's going to be a fun one. Just patiently waiting. I'm afraid it's not working because I haven't heard anyone say they can hear me yet. So, what's up, everybody? I think you can hear me. What's up, Kelly? Good morning, buddy. Congrats on graduation. Go Commando under the roof. Appreciate it. Awesome, dude. Thank you. Awesome. I must be like way behind in the chat today because I am just now getting those. So sorry if you hear me just sit there for a second. But what's up, guys? Looks like it's a lively chat today. What's up? I see we had a dono already. I saw it earlier, but then it looks like it went away. But C. Austin said, I think he said, congrats on graduating, $20 dono. So really do appreciate that, C. Austin. Thank you very much. Never have to do that, but I do appreciate it. What's up, guys? What's up, Born? Thank you very much. Thank you. What's up, Chase? Nice to see you. Yeah, I agree, Paper. Let's get it. What's up? Thank you. Hit that like button, says Michael. I totally agree. Hit that like button. Hopefully we can get over like 100 today. And Joseph says Happy Mom's Day. Yeah, for sure. Make sure you tell your mother tell your mom Happy Mother's Day if you forgot. Go get her some flowers. Do something nice. I agree, Brandon. What's up, guys? I'll let everyone roll in for a little bit, then we'll actually get started. I'll scroll up a little bit, see who's all in here early, and then like I did last live stream, I'll kind of just go from the bottom, and then if I happen to miss your chat, you can send it again, because when I just read from top to bottom, I get like 30 minutes behind, and I don't want to do that. So, what's up, guys? All right, so Aaron says, now you're a full-time worker like all of us. Now, yeah, for sure. Get to do this. I love it. Absolutely love it. Fantasy, streaming. It's going to be a good time. No longer have to do this cool stuff. What's up, Chris? And Julian says, I'm here. What's up, Juliana, my girlfriend? Let's win some money today, then go on a vacation. Yeah, we're going on vacation tomorrow morning. So that'll be awesome. Can't wait. All right, I should probably start talking about some NASCAR stuff. So let's start with Clay. Is it really contrarian to not play Larson? It's very contrarian today. He's going to be the highest owned driver, would be my assumption. That's what my ownership projections have. And he's going to be the chalk galore. I think you got to play him in cash games and tournaments. If you want to get different, yeah, you can get away from Larson, but he's just so good at Darlington. Last time we were in this rules package at Darlington, he led nearly 300 laps, so I'm having a hard time getting away from him. I realize we're in the 750 package this time around instead of the 550 like we were last year, not that Larson raced here last year, but so far this season, Larson's been better in the 550. But even then, he was fast at Phoenix, he was fine at Martinsville. I know he had a lot of issues at Richmond, so I guess you can kind of sweep that under the rug, but I don't have any concerns with Larson today. I like him in all formats, and I want to be overweighted on chalk today, because I think you have to take a stance. Like, obviously, you could go even with the field and just be like, okay, if Larson sucks, it's whatever. If Larson does great, it's whatever. But I think you should either go underweight on Larson or way overweight, and personally, I like to lean towards the overweight because I just have a hard time seeing him fail today. Rockin' Cardinal says Austin Dillon or Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace is I hate to say safer because of where he's starting. It's just he's been terrible this year. I personally like Austin Dillon more. I know it's risky because he's starting inside the top 10, but not bad at Darlington. He's actually got some pretty good numbers here, and I don't mind that price point. I think he can be one of those guys that hangs within the top 12. Has a nice, quiet, solid day, which is what you'd want out of Austin Dillon. I think if you don't hear his name much today, that might be a good thing. Spread says Byron the Dom cutoff. Yeah, that's my cutoff for the Dominators today. I think everyone Byron and above can be listed in your Dominator group today. Is Harvick going to be under-owned today? I don't think so. I think Harvick's going to be decently chalky because the price tag's a little low, especially for a track like Darlington because it's a very good track for him. And Darlington's one of those tracks where there's not that many similar tracks that you can look at because it's very unique. You got the high tire where it's steep, it's kind of shaped like an egg, and now we're in the different aero package this week. So I think the drivers that are usually good at Darlington are probably going to be good today. So I can actually get on board with some Kevin Harvick. This might be a good time to try to time the breakout for Kevin Harvick because it's going to happen at some point this year. He's not going to just, I don't even want to say he sucked this year, but like speed-wise in terms of dominating, he sucked. But at some point, he's going to break out, and there's not many other better tracks besides like Atlanta, Phoenix for him to break out here, which I know we've ran at those tracks so far this season, but I can get on some Harvick today for sure. Jeff says Elliott to the back. Is that true? Can someone confirm Elliott to the back for me? I mean, I believe you, Jeff, but I don't know if you're just trying to pull a fast one on me because I haven't heard that. I know Almirola's going to the back, which for future questions on Almirola, I don't care about him going to the rear. I think it makes no difference. He was almost there anyway, and then you have the competition caution. He'll be just fine because you're not playing Almirola for Dominator points today. He'll have nearly 300 laps to get himself positioned for a top 15 finish today, which I think he can easily do. Again, guys, don't feel like you're annoying me if you double send your questions. But I'm trying to go to the bottom of the chat, and then if I catch up, I can go up top. But John says, "What's up, Chris? Hope you enjoy your new state of Florida." Thank you, John. Thank you. I'm going down there tomorrow morning to look at some places. So I think it's going to be like 95 and sunny. And where I'm at right now, it was like 35 this morning and it was snowing. It was terrible. It was snowing. It's May 9th and it's snowing out. Awful. Moved there from Jersey 4 years ago. Raced some crazy drivers down there. Oh boy. I hate driving. What do you think of Chase Elliott this week? I like the price tag on Chase Elliott. I mean, he's more of a tournament play. I'm not going to go there in cash games. I think in cash games, you want to play Larson, and I want to pair him up with a guy like Denny Hamlin or Martin Truex. Those are my three favorite Dominators today. So for the most part, I'm trying to mix and match those three across my lineups. And obviously, I'm mixing in guys like Keselowski, Busch, Harvick, Bowman, Elliott, and other lineups. But those are like my three main guys this week. But yeah, I like Chase Elliott in tournaments. He could have won like 2 of the 3 Darlington races last year. I know he got screwed by Kyle Busch in the one race, and that's where we got the the middle finger thing. What was it? Yeah, he was like right on the yellow line, and then he gave it to Kyle Busch. And I forget what happened in the other race, but I mean, he was a contender in 2 of those races for sure. So I can get on Chase Elliott, and he was actually had the highest average green flag speed at the high tire venues last year as well. So someone in the Discord just said Elliott's to the rear, so I guess that kind of changes. Okay, Dude's my moderator, so confirmed Elliott to the rear per Pockrass. Okay. Well, that's a little interesting. I think I might drop some of my Chase Elliott because he hasn't really, I know I just talked about him as a good Dominator play, but I was assuming he'd have track position to start the race. I'm not like overly concerned about him going to the rear, but he has had a lack of speed this year. He's easily been the worst Hendrick car, so I actually think it might be worth dropping some Chase Elliott exposure now and getting to a guy like, maybe getting to more guys like Bowman, Harvick, or William Byron. I think Elliott, dropping down to the rear at the beginning of the race will make it easier on guys like Byron, Hamlin to lead early on. So I wouldn't mind dropping Elliott a little bit, but I'm not overly concerned about it. But I think it would make sense to just maybe add more to Bowman and take a little bit away from Elliott, but I don't think he's a full fade. It's always fun when we get news live during the lock, or live before lock. Cardinal says thoughts on Christopher Bell. I like Christopher Bell a lot today, starting 21st. I like the price point. He's in a really good price range where there's a lot of good plays. Like Byron, I think is a really good tournament play. Bell's good. Kurt Busch is good. Eric Jones, I want to say he's good, but it's hard to trust that card. And I like Almirola quite a bit as well. So for the most part, I'm kind of just mixing and matching all those guys. But Eric Jones showed that the 20 car can have massive upside at Darlington. Now I realize it's more of a skills track, so we'll see how Christopher Bell translates to it. But I think he's definitely got top 10 potential today. If he can have a Jones day at $8,600 starting 21st, I mean, we're looking at a pretty good play today. And I do like Christopher Bell quite a bit. Chris says Bell or Byron in cash. Bell for me, easily. I mean, tournaments I like William Byron a lot, but Christopher Bell is just much safer. I feel like they have similar finishing position upside today. Jay says your top 2 studs to start a GPP lineup, GOAT. Appreciate it, Jay. Favorite studs today are top 2, I think you said, would be Larson and Hamlin today. Truex is right there with Hamlin, but I like Hamlin just a little bit more. I'm going to scroll up a little bit, see if there's any Federico says buy Dogecoin. Didn't it tank yesterday or last night or now? I saw it was at 71 cents and then it went down to like 42 or something. So hopefully no one got wrecked up top. Sheesh, that is a steep decline. I think it's because it wasn't like Elon on Saturday Night Live or something. Joe says, who is the weak link in this cash lineup? Larson, Bowman, Bell, Almirola, Suarez, Priest. A weak link for me would be Suarez there. But even then, it's not terrible. Just because there's a lack of cheap plays this week. I think your pivot would be Chastain, who I like a little bit more in cash. But I think that's a solid lineup. I think I've actually built that lineup with Chastain just playing around. So I don't like it. I like it, but I don't love it either. Just because Suarez is a little iffy. Oh, just saw my dad's in the chat. I just had to say congratulations on your graduation from college. Thank you, Dad. Appreciate it. Wish him the best of luck in the YouTube contest today. I'm sure he's going to have Hamlin. He'll probably play Blaney. I think he plays Hamlin and Blaney every single week. Although playing Hamlin every single week tends to work out because the guy's just been a machine this season. Gerald says, 3-dom build. Who can we use at the lower end? The lower end, I would say Byron. You go Byron, Chase Elliott. Although Chase Elliott going to the rear kind of kills things a little bit. I think he can make his way through the field, but I'm going to be dropping a little bit of my Chase Elliott exposure. It sucks because I wrote him up actually as a decent tournament play, but makes it a little bit iffier now. Chase says chalky cash plays, the smart ones to actually play, and who are sneaky plays in cash. The smart chalky cash plays today would be Kyle Larson. I would have to say it's going to be like a mixture of Christopher Bell, Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola. I think you want at least 2 of those guys in your lineup. I'm not sure you'd be able to fit in 3, but I want, for the most part, I'd like 2 of either Christopher Bell, Kurt Busch, and Almirola. Then people are going to play Priest as well. So the main 2 are going to be Larson and Priest today. I'd imagine those are going to be like 2 highest owned in cash, just because you're going to have to go down to Priest. Mr. Miyagi says 1 or 2 doms. I would say more so 2 or 3 doms today. 2 or 3. If you are playing 1 dom, you're probably just playing Larson, and then you're going straight to like the Bell range, would be my assumption, but I don't like those kind of lineups. I want at least 2. Russell says, how many Dominators are we going with today? Love the channel, Chris. Keep the good work. Thank you, Russell. Appreciate it. I would say 2 to 3. 2 to 3 would be my educated guess of what the optimal lineup will be today. And we have history on that. We have data to back that up. Rocking says, does Hamlin finally get a win today after hitting the wall last week? Man, that sucked. I kind of was forgetting what happened last week, what went wrong with me, what went wrong for me at the end, and I just remembered Hamlin hit the wall, Larson wrecked Blaney, and those were like 3 of my highest owned drivers, so yeah, that's what happened. It's giving me PTSD from what happened last week, because it was looking like a really good week, and then sucked at the end. Edwin says, how do you feel about Blaney today? I guess this is a good question and a good topic to bring up because you guys know I typically love playing Ryan Blaney, but I am not playing Blaney today. I think virtually no Blaney. He sucks here. This is his worst track. You can throw Richmond in there as well. He's just not good at this track, but I just don't see how Ryan Blaney is going to change those ways today. I'd much rather play guys like, I'd rather play William Byron. I'd rather play Bell. I'd rather play Bowman. I'd rather play everybody. Almost everybody besides Ryan Blaney today. So I am fine with a full fade. I realize he's cheap. I realize he's starting 16th, and normally I'd be all about this, but Darlington's just one of those tracks where the guys that are good here, and the guys that aren't just aren't going to run well, and Ryan Blaney's one of those guys that just does not run well whatsoever. Oh, just saw a dono. That's the second one. Appreciate it. FE, what's up, Rick? I know you're in my Discord. Congrats on your graduation, CP16. Thanks for everything you do. Feeling Harvick breaks out this week. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Didn't have to do that, but I always do appreciate the donos and the support. And I can get in some Harvick this week. I know it feels a little gross because he just hasn't been normal Harvick, but $9,600, he's starting second. If he can just be a little bit faster than Keselowski early on, I know he's not going to have the preferred lane at the beginning. You want to be up top, but I still think Harvick can definitely be a guy that can be a factor today, so I can get on board. Ned Donkey says, if price didn't matter, will you rank Bell, Kurt, Almirola, and Blaney? I know the first 3 are close. Is Blaney even close to them? 8 to the back also. Okay, let's see. Ranking those guys. So if price doesn't matter, I would say Bell, Kurt, Almirola, Blaney, just exactly how you have it. If price does matter, I would say Almirola first because, look, I know people don't want to play the Stewart-Haas cars, but Almirola's been pretty good in this package. Since last season, he's got, 7 top 10 finishes, and last year at Darlington, I realized it's a different rules package, but he didn't have a finish worse than 12th place, and if he can finish top 15 today, that's a really good day at $8,000, so. But if price didn't matter, that would be my ranking there. Russell says, yep, good data wins tournaments, gut feelings loses you money. Yeah, for the most part. Sometimes you can get a really lucky gut feeling, though, but yeah. In the long term, data will win. Joe says, Almirola to the rear. Yep. Does not change anything for me. I'm sure he'll get those spots in just a couple laps. I mean, he's going to pass guys like Pennell, Goodyear really quick. Gary says, Harvick and Kyle, what's your take on them being dominators? Do you mean Kyle Busch? I'm assuming you mean Kyle Busch because they're right beside each other in price range. If I had to pick one, I would go with Kevin Harvick. I know Kyle Busch, dominating. I think only led like 20-some laps last week and won. But he looked really good all day. I definitely had one of the best cars, and I love Kevin Harvick at Darlington, so I'm going to buy in a little bit. I would pick Harvick over Kyle Busch today. Craig says, who are your top 6 to 8K plays on DraftKings? So 6 to 8K. So if that includes Almirola would be number 1 there. I'll give like 3 of my favorites here. So I like Almirola a lot. Well, unfortunately, Ryan Preece is not in there because I really like Ryan Preece, but he's $5,900. But Stenhouse starting 28th. I realize his numbers at Darlington are terrible. He did wreck on the first lap on the restart last year, May 17th, when NASCAR finally returned after a month or so off. But starting 28th, I think he's fine. He's been fine this year. He's been a top 20 guy for the most part, so I think he's relatively safe. And then a couple of risky guys, Tyler Reddick and Austin Dillon. I know they're starting in the top 10, so they carry plenty of risk, but I like Austin Dillon quite a bit here. He's got a couple top 5s recently. And Tyler Reddick's a guy where this track profiles pretty well for him because he can ride around the wall. I think he could pick up some fast laps here and there and contend for a top 10 finish. And a similar track in Homestead, which I realize it's kind of hard to find similar tracks to Darlington. You could throw in Dover in there as well. Maybe Auto Club because of the high tire wear. I hate to say Atlanta, but it's also high tire wear. But he crushes Homestead. I know they're different, but still high tire wear, steep tracks. And if Tyler Reddick can contend in the top 10 today at $7,400, not too bad. Plus, we have a lack of good plays down low, so that's going to kind of gear me towards going some Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick plays, even though it does feel a bit uncomfortable. Michael says, 23% Elliott, lowest I've had all year. I'm trying to think the lowest I've had on Elliott. I feel like last week I didn't play much Chase, but besides the last week, I've had a lot of Chase Elliott, and he just keeps burning me. I don't know what's going on with that car. I mean, it's been the worst Hendrick car, which sounds crazy. But, I mean, Larson, Bowman, and Byron have been awesome this year, and Chase Elliott just really hasn't. I know there's been some bad luck in there, but he just really hasn't had that high-end speed that the other guys have had. I don't know if it's all going to Larson's car, but not really sure. Spreads, let's get to 230 likes. I'm not sure we'll get to 230. That's a lot of likes. That donkey says, anyone below LaJoie even comparable to him if price did matter? Not sure if you missed this question or if I missed your answer. No, I'm just kind of skipping around a little bit because if I just go from top to bottom, I'm going to be like 30 minutes behind, so I don't want to do that. Anyone below LaJoie even close to him? Not really. I mean, the closest I would say would be maybe a Justin Haley, who's right below him, starting one spot further back. But once you get outside of LaJoie, I mean, these guys are like 30th place cars, 30th to 40th place cars. Like, LaJoie at least has some top 25 upside. The rest of these guys are just absolute scrubs. I mean, I know Alfredo's sitting there where he's got a little bit of top 25 upside, but I hate trusting the guy. He's starting 25th. Thanks, MC Sub. Appreciate it. Congrats on the graduation. Hopefully it wasn't too warm, as they can be horrible in robes. Oh, you don't even know. It was freezing. It was like 45 degrees, and it was like 30-mile-per-hour winds. It was terrible. My hands were going to fall off. So I wish it was warm. It's awful. Paper says, I know you don't like Blaney, but would you use him as a pivot for Chase? I'd still rather play Chase over Blaney today. That's just how much I don't like Blaney today. So hopefully he doesn't come out and dominate. I mean, the Blaney fan in me, I guess, would be a little happy, but I think I care a little bit more about my my DraftKings account. Dude says, who are some low-end drivers with top 10 potential? So a couple I mentioned earlier. I'm not sure Tyler Reddick's going to be super low-owned, but he's definitely not going to be chalky today. Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon, MDB, these guys all have some top 10 potential on that 7K range for the most part. There's really no one else that I think is going to be like super low-owned. It's got a lot of top 10 potential. Like, I don't think William Byron's going to be chalk, but I mean, you're expecting a top 10 out of Byron if you play him. So those 3 guys I would say in the 7K range do have some sneaky top 10 potential. Travis says, Chris, you have any Doge? No, I do not. I like following this stuff. I find it interesting, but I do not have any. And what do you think about Ricky Reckhouse? Well, hey, he hasn't been wrecking this year too much. I know past couple weeks haven't been great for him, but he's been pretty solid, and I do like him. I think he's a solid, safe floor play for the most part. Yeah, I think you can play him in cash games. I think you can play him in tournaments. I think he's just a safe play for the most part. But I do like pivoting to guys like Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick to get off of that ownership, because I would imagine they'll be lower owned. Jason says, who wins your pick? I would say Larson. That's the boring answer. That's the Vegas favorite answer, but I'm going to say Larson. And if Larson doesn't win, I would say Denny Hamlin. Those are my 2 picks today. I know, boring chalk answers. If there was like a sneaky winner today, if you want a real sneaky winner, maybe a guy like Christopher Bell or Tyler Reddick, but those are definitely long shots there, and that's not something I'd bet on. Paper says, if you had 27% Chase, what would you drop him to? Maybe closer to 20, and then maybe up your Bowman, who's, I mean, obviously a much safer play now. I mean, I'm not really that concerned about Ellie going to the rear, guys. I just kind of hate that he loses his track position. I'm scared because of the speed he's shown this season. I'm afraid he's going to get stuck in traffic all day. Like Larson last week, he just ripped through the field. I'm not sure if that's going to happen for Chase Elliott, so I'm definitely a little concerned there because I like having track position, but I think maybe closer to 20 and up your guys like maybe Bowen or Byron. Matthew says direct pivot off of Chase. Direct pivot, well, Bowman. Bowman would be my favorite direct pivot. I could also go with Byron as well because I don't like Blaney today. I mean, if you have 0 Blaney today and you want a little bit of Blaney, you could direct your Elliott exposure to Blaney, but I don't love it. Jay says, thoughts on Briscoe or Newman? I like Newman today. I think he's a safe, you guys know what I always say about Newman. He's just a boring vanilla play. Like when you go to the ice cream place and you get vanilla ice cream, like you're not going to be disappointed, but you're not super excited about it. You're just like, okay, it's a solid ice cream. That's what Ryan Newman's probably going to be today. He's probably going to finish around 15th place, and you're not going to love it, but you're not going to hate it either. I think that's the best analogy for Ryan Newman. Chase says if you use JJ Yaley and Priest, you can get 4 Doms. Crazy? It's probably crazy. Are the 4 Doms like Byron, Elliott, Bowman, Harvick? I mean, I don't want to go past 3 today, to be honest. I mean, if you want to get nuts in one lineup out of like 150, sure, but I think for the most part you want to stay with 2 to 3 Doms today. Dude, oh, I was reading your message, dude, and it retracted as I was speaking. So, I think it was about Eric Jones and the lawnmower, though. I don't love his upside today. That's why I'm more heavy on Almirola. Like, if this was Jones in the 20 car, $800, 26th at Darlington, he'd be my highest owned driver, but that's just not the case, unfortunately. I like it, Jack. I like it. Yes, he's a very safe play. Very safe play. MC Sub says, I know this will suck DFS-wise, but I almost went to YOLO Larson, both Bushes, Harvick, Priest, and Half. Okay, I will admit I have a couple Half lineups. Is it Huff or Half? I mean, I've never really heard his name, to be honest. I'm not sure it really matters too much, but I have a little bit of Half just because I'm not talking like above 10% or anything. I just have some sprinkles down low, but he's one of my higher owned scrub drivers because at $4,500, if he can gain a couple spots and you nail your Dominators, I'm not sure it'll take down a tournament. There's a chance for it, but it's not the worst thing out there. Colton says I'd take Jones over Almirola. Eric has been terrible this season. Well, I mean, I'd much rather take Almirola, to be honest. I mean, in the 750 races this year, he's got 2 top 10 finishes, which, I mean, we're going to be lucky for a top 15 with Eric Jones staying in the 43 car. I mean, that car sucks. So I'm going to definitely take Almirola there just because I think, I mean, he's been fine in this package. I know he had the, what race was it where he struggled? Was it Phoenix? He was either Phoenix or Martinsville. I can't remember. But he finished 20th in one of them. But the other ones, he was in the top 10, which I think he can compete for a top 15 today. While Eric Jones, it's just hard to trust that 43 car. You have Half on a few as well, Michael. Yeah, it doesn't feel good, but that's probably like my bottom feeder lineups. We're just hoping for the best. Hopefully the Dominators to crush. That Donkey says, is Logano the clear favorite over Bowman, Harvick, Byron, and Kyle if price didn't matter? Yes. Although, I feel like that might be a FanDuel question, because on DraftKings, like, I can't get to Logano today. And that's actually the first question we've had about Logano. I think everyone's just so enamored with guys like Hamlin, Truex, and Larson that they're just not getting to Logano. And I totally agree. Like, I'm planting my flag. Like, I could split my ownership on Larson and Logano and just say I'm going to be even with the field, but that's no fun. So I'm going Team Larson today, and I'm hoping Logano just... I think Logano's going to have a solid race. I think this being in the 750 package is going to help him. But it's just... I'd much rather play Larson today. Charles says Jones past winner. Yes, in the 20 car though. It's just a big difference going from the 20 car in Joe Gibbs to the 43 car in Richard Petty Motorsports. Like, it's not even close. Not even close. Andre says Logano a lock on FanDuel. He's only 10K. I don't know what the other drivers are priced. Doesn't they go up to like 14K over there? I feel like that's definitely... Yeah, 10K seems pretty cheap on FanDuel. I mean, yeah, if I'm playing over there, I'll probably get him in. Cut the check says, sorry I'm late. Who is all going to the rear? No problem. Don't need to be sorry for being late. Who's all going to the rear? I've heard is Chase Elliott and Almirola. Almirola's before my live stream started. Then Chase Elliott was when the live stream started. So that's all I know. I'm relying on you guys to tell me because I cannot be on Twitter at this moment. A-Rob says LaJoy or Priest. Priest for me. It's hard to trust LaJoy in the 7 car. It's just been terrible this year. I thought it was going to be better, but it's definitely been a downgrade from the 32 car. Andre says he's the 10th highest price on FanDuel. Joey Logano is the 10th highest. That's kind of insane. Yeah, lock on FanDuel for sure. That's not saying playing 100%, but I mean, that sounds amazing. John says Keselowski or no. It's the first Kes question I think we've got, or at least the first one I've read, which is interesting because he's on the pool. I have some Keselowski today, but to be honest, I'm banking on Harvick, Hamlin, Truex taking the lead early on, then Larson at some point, so I don't have a lot of Keselowski. I'm planning on being underweight in the field to him. So, I mean, I think he's fine, but I just prefer the other guys up front, so I'm going to be a little bit lower on him. I don't think you have to play him in cash games. I think people will, but I'd rather play Hamlin in cash, to be honest, over Keselowski. I'd rather find this extra $600. Like, if you have to go down from Bell to Almirola to get up to Hamlin from Keselowski, I think that's fine. Rated R Superstar? That rolls off the tongue well. I like it. Who's going to the rear? Almirola and Elliott, as far as I know. OS says Bell, Bubba, or Almirola, Austin, DK, GPP. I'll go with the second one there. I really don't like Bubba today that much. Trucker Mike says 60% Priest, but can't get myself to go to lower drivers. The other lower drivers suck today. Like, I have a lot of Priest as well, but when you want to get different from Priest, you have to go to guys like McDowell, which starting 13th, that's just terrible. Busher starting 11th. I typically like playing Busher, but 11th's rough. I have a little bit just in case he kind of holds on to a top 15, but there's nothing down low this week. Like, it really sucks. So that's why I'm having a lot of Ryan Priest. So I totally understand your conundrum that you're having. So, I mean, I like trying to pivot to a little bit of Corey LaJoy. I do have some Busher mixed in. I like Chastain. Outside of Ryan Priest, Chastain's my favorite cheap one right now. Let's see. Charles says this is a driver's track. Sure is, but you still got to have good equipment. That Donkey says, I think I'm positive on every race this year. Converting your info to FanDuel, you're the go. That's awesome. I'm glad it still works for FanDuel stuff. You're very welcome, and good luck today. I'm 100% Larson, so rolling the dice, keep my stream at 100%. I'd like to have I don't have the risk tolerance to go 100% Larson. I'd like to. I would love to, but I hope it works out for you, because if it works out, that means I'm going to have a good day as well, because I'm pretty heavy on him. He is my highest owned driver today. Tommy says I have a few Yaley. I got a couple like Yaleys down low. It's just... The cheap guy sucks so bad today. I actually think some of these absolute dumpster fire drivers are actually a little bit viable. Just a little bit, though. Ren Trim says, Bowman legit in a 2-down build? Yes, I think that's fine. Now, is he better paired with a guy starting closer to the front? Yes, but he was very good at Darlington last year, one of the best drivers. So I can definitely get behind playing some Bowman. That 48 cars looked really good, and I know it doesn't really matter too much, but Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car last year in the first race, he was up front. He got that car up front before he wrecked out. Massey here with the grossest question ever. Yaley, McLeod, or Half? Oh gosh. Between those guys, I would say Yaley. That was a gross pool of drivers right there. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit, see if I missed anything important. Jim says thoughts on Keselowski. His crew chief won't be there because of Corona. I mean, that doesn't really change anything too much for me. Like, yeah, it's nice to have your crew chief, but he's a seasoned driver. It doesn't really change too much for me. I mean, if you want to downgrade him a little bit because of that, you can. I mean, if you want to go under on Keselowski today, I think that's probably a good thing for you. Brian says Kurt Busch is the best driver here with his tire package. Kurt Busch is really good at Darlington. I like him a lot today. Like that 8K range, Christopher Bell, Kurt Busch. You can throw in Eric Jones. I just hate the car. Then Eric Almirola. I think it's a really good price range today. Also William Byron. I didn't mean to forget about him. I think those guys are all excellent plays today. But yeah, Kurt Busch kills Darlington. I would be very surprised if he's not in the top 10 today. Charles says Priest been running all around better than last year. Yeah, I mean, I remember there was like a stretch of 4 straight races, Charles, where Priest was, I think he wrecked 4 straight races in a row. And I'm pretty sure I was heavy on him all those races because, you know, with the lineup for him, you know, he kept starting in the rear and he just kept wrecking and it sucked so bad every single week. But yeah, he's been much better this season. Michael says, you think Brad pulls enough Dominator points from the pool? I'm not really big on Keselowski today. Like, I think he'll lead some laps early on, but I'm not sure he's going to be optimal today. Like, if I had a bet, who's going to score more points today, Hamlin, Truex, or Keselowski, I would probably rank it Hamlin, Truex, Keselowski just like that. I realize that's in order of their price range, but I feel like Truex and Hamlin can get by him at some point, and they at least have some place difference upside as well. So I really don't think Keselowski will be optimal today. I think he can have a fine race, but I'm not sure he's going to be optimal. Stenhouse or Austin, DKGBP? Okay, so if you're looking strictly for ownership, Dillon would be your guy because Stenhouse will be pretty chalky starting 28th. Austin Dillon's one of those guys that can hang around the top 10. Stenhouse probably more so the top 20, top 15. So I would say Dillon for tournaments. Brandon says thoughts on fading Larson and going with Joe Gibbs' team. Hamlin, Truex, Bell, but yeah, it's totally fine. And yeah, Truex has been awesome in this package. So is Hamlin. I can definitely get behind all the Joe Gibbs cars today. Not really high in Kyle Busch, and you didn't even mention him. So I think you're probably having the same thought process as me. But yeah, I like the Gibbs cars quite a bit. Shark Killer G exclamation point says hit that like button. I agree, hit that like button, really helps me out. I do appreciate that. Smokey says you think Logano can win the first stage. I don't. Starting 12th, I would say the most likely driver to win the first stage is either going to be Keselowski, Truex, or Hamlin, to be honest. Unless, I mean, Harvick's always a threat as well, but just so far this season he really hasn't shown that high-end speed. Toyota stacks? Yeah, I like the Toyota cars today. Definitely heavy on Truex and Hamlin. I think they're a really good pairing. Like, if you want to fade Larson in some lineups, because obviously you're not going to play 100% of him unless you're that donkey guy, because he's playing 100% Larson today. But Truex and Hamlin frees up some salary, and you can definitely make some things work. Cut the check says someone said Harvick to the rear. Is that true? I hope not. If Harvick's to the rear, you better let me know. That's important, because I'd probably be almost close to... I'd really drop my ownership on Harvick if he went to the rear. I'm mainly just banking on that track position early on. So let me know if that is true. You're welcome, Smokey. Chris says, I'm running a full Hendricks lineup. Can you guess the other 2 scrubs I picked? Ooh. Full Hendrick lineup. So you got Byron, Bowman, Larson, Elliott. Geez, yeah, you're going to have to go really cheap. My guess would be Quinn Houff and Yaley would be your 2 scrubs. I don't think you could afford Priest. If you could, I would. Assuming you went 2 complete scrubs, I'd say Yaley and Houff. What's up, Dave? Who you like better, DKGPP? Harvick is the 3rd Dom and Yaley, or Bell LaJoy? I would go with Bell and LaJoy there. Bell and LaJoy. I think LaJoy and Priest lineups can work today. Actually, one of my favorite lineups actually had LaJoy and Priest together. Haven't seen anything on Harvick? Okay. Hoping he doesn't go to the rear, because then I got some more things to edit. Donkey says like button kind of hidden during live chats. A good reminder. Hit that like. Yeah, totally. I don't know how many people we have in here. I could probably check. Nearly 300. I think that's pretty good. Over 100 likes. Do appreciate everyone stopping by. Definitely not done yet. We definitely got a good amount of time left. Tyler says, can you go into a GPP with no drivers starting in the top 8? You can. Now, you're probably going to lose out in some early Dominator points, but if there's not like a big Dominator early on, then maybe a guy like Logano Larson comes up top, and then you have Bowman as well. Which is what I'm assuming you're thinking about. Like, I'd assume your lineup's probably like a Larson Bowman, which is fine. I think you can do that today. Dave says just slightly to the rear. Yep. My take on that, Dave, was that I would drop him a little bit because he does not have that track position, and plus he hasn't showed top of the line speed this year. So I'm going to drop him a little bit, but he's not a full fade candidate, but I'm definitely going to be lower on him for sure. Yeah, that's all I've heard as well, PMJ. Just those two to the rear. All good, Gerald, no problem. Newman have good history here. He's been solid. I mean, he can be a top 15 guy here. I mean, if you guys want to look at the actual numbers on the screen, I guess I could be nice enough to show you. So, past 6 races for Newman, 4 top 15, so wouldn't surprise me if he's like I don't think he's going to be a 10 to 15th place guy, but I think he can probably hang around 15th, 16th place, which if you're looking at his finishes last year, it's exactly what he did. 15th, 14th, 15th. Like, well, basically what I said. Ryan Newman, he is vanilla ice cream. You don't love it, you don't hate it either, but it's solid. And sometimes that's all you need at $7,200. It's just a nice solid play. Tyler says, bro, how'd you know it's Bowman Larson? Because I've been building lineups all week, man. I know all these combinations. It just made sense that it was Bowman Larson. Charles said, Hamlin to the rear? I hope not. You guys got to stop scaring me with these random drivers to the rear. If Hamlin goes to the rear, I'd be very upset. Kurt or Bell? Bell slightly for me. Very slightly, though. Chris says, actually, sorry, I went all Hendrick, Priest, and Yaley. That was close. That was very close. Thoughts on Blaney? I do not like Blaney today. Like, I know that probably sounds crazy coming out of my mouth because I recommend him every single week, but Blaney sucks here. Like, if you guys want to look at the numbers, I went over this, but happy to show you again. So, average finish, 20th place. Average running position, right on par. It's not like he's getting unlucky with bad finishes where he's wrecking out. Running position of 19.9, terrible driver rating, no top 10s, 2 top 15s, no laps led, and a couple fast laps here and there, but he's been very bad at this track. Very, very bad. I don't think that's going to change today. Charles says 11-1 here a couple years ago. Yeah, Denny Hamlin's great at Darlington. Can definitely get on a lot of Denny Hamlin today. One of my favorite drivers today. Shark says, what is Hamlin's history here? Well, he won here last year, and I mean, he's one of the better drivers at Darlington, so definitely in on Denny. I would go with Chastain there. It's kind of close, but Chastain's got top 15 upside, where LaJoy, we're kind of hoping for a top 25 for the most part. Brandon says, Almirola or Matty B. I think you mean D. In GPPs, I would go with, I forgot the question. Oh, Almirola, sorry. Saw something in Discord, threw me off. Federico says Blaney will win it now. He better not. I mean, if Blaney wins, I'll happily take the L today because it just would make no sense to me. But I mean, I guess he's been fine in this package, but he sucks at Darlington. I don't think it's gonna change. Jim says, would you fade Jones today? I'm not sure I'd full fade him, but I don't mind being underweight. I mean, just the 43 car. I wish if he was cheaper, I'd like him more. But $8,200 is kind of hard to justify around guys like Kurt Busch, Almirola, Christopher Bell. These guys got, I think, higher finishing position potential. Jay says, in a single GPP goat, would you play Priest and Corey? Yes. Actually, the lineup in the YouTube contest that I'm running today, little sneak peek here, I do have Priest and LaJoy together. So, you guys can figure out the rest. Jay says, I'm out of focus bad. Can someone confirm that? It might be your stream. Chase says, is Dylan a good play today? I think he's a fine tournament play. I think he could kind of hang around that top 10, top 12, which isn't terrible at his price range. Massey says, thoughts on a Truex, Kyle, Harvick, and Chase in a lineup. Go for broke, man. My goodness. I don't think I'd go that far, to be honest. I just don't see how they're all going to be optimal. You're going to need some place differential in there because Truex is in the top 5, Kyle's in the top 5, Harvick's in the top. I mean, all those guys in the top 4. Chase is in the top 6. He's going to the rear. That's too much for me. I'd differentiate. Looks good to you guys? Okay, Chase, might be just you. Might be just you. Braxton says Elliott and Almirola to the rear. Yep. Elliott, it does matter to me a little bit. Almirola, though, not much. Stream looks good? Cool. Might be you, Chase. Might be you. Oh, just all done. Appreciate it, Trey. Thank you. Trey's been my longest subscriber I've known. I mean, someone out there might be 7, 6, or 5 here, but Trey was my 8th subscriber way back in the day, and he's been in my Discord for years now. So, always appreciate Trey, always contributing in the Discord. So, appreciate it very much. And we have to do a rematch on the show. I think we've only played one game so far, and I lost. I think it was 0-1 or something. But yeah, appreciate the dono, Trey. Thank you very much. Andrew says, congrats on graduating. NASCAR content full-time. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. Looking forward to it. Do appreciate all the support on here to make that possible for me. Do some other sports as well, but obviously NASCAR is the main thing here. And I was getting questions why I wasn't doing MLB videos recently. It's just because I was doing graduation stuff and then I'm going to be traveling. So I'm not quitting doing MLB stuff or anything. I still do it on Patreon, but I'm going to probably return the MLB videos next Friday, this Friday maybe. Friday, Saturday. So don't think I was quitting on that. Just haven't had the time to do that. I want to focus on NASCAR this weekend. All good, Chase. No worries. Mr. Miyagi says, do you have a lot of MTJ today? Yeah, I do. MTJ is one of my highest on Dominators. Like him quite a bit. I know he hasn't had the finishes here at Darlington, but the guy can definitely be a Dominator, and I'd imagine those finishes are going to come. You think Suarez is being overlooked? Probably a little bit. I mean, he's fine, starting 15th. And I'm actually getting to him a little bit just because there's no good plays down there besides Priest, so I got a little bit of Suarez, but it's only because there's a lack of plays for the most part. Appreciate it, Dave. Thank you. Thank you for being here for the beginning. And the first 100 subscribers is the hardest thing in the world because why would you come to the channel with someone with less than 100 subs? So people that were there in the beginning, it's awesome. I do appreciate that. Elliott in the Hooters cars might be some free wings in the line for the narrative. That is true. I saw his throwback car. Looked pretty good. But yeah, free wings in the line for sure. We'll have to check the promos for Chase Elliott today. Shark says if you play anyone from Richard Motorsports, you might as well play Richard Petty himself. Yeah, I mean his equipment's not very good, unfortunately. We love our Treasy. Yeah, of course we love our Treasy. I don't like running Larson and Logano today, DJ, because once you do that, you're killing your lineup because you get nearly $24,000. And the off chance they both finish 1-2 and they both dominate at some point, yeah, you're gonna want them in your lineup. But I think it's a slim chance for that today. I wouldn't even hate having a group set up in an optimizer of just max of one of those guys. Put them in the same group and then put a max of one in your settings. I don't really see both being optimal today, especially at their price points. Brett says, do you prefer pairing Larson with Hamlin or Truex more? Hamlin for me. I know Truex is a little bit more affordable, but I think Hamlin's gonna be a very good play today. My guess on who the two Doms today will be Larson and Hamlin for the main Dominators. Final spot, Truex or Brad? I will side with Truex there. Chris says Suarez is racing great in his new car. I play him off and down low. So do I. I play him quite a bit. It's just the problem is since he's been running well, he's now starting 15th, which kind of sucks. When he's in the 20s, I like playing Suarez. 15th's making it a little bit iffy, but he could hang around that spot. It wouldn't surprise me. He's definitely been very good in the 99 car. Plus, it's pretty much an RCR car, which I like those guys quite a bit there. I like Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick, so I guess it would make sense I like Suarez. You're welcome, Brett. No problem. McDowell, LaJoy, and Cash. I would say LaJoy there because McDowell is starting, 13th? I can't play McDowell starting 13th in cash games. Newman, Custer, or Wallace, pick one. Newman. I want to say Custer because he's starting 24th, but I have a hard time trusting Custer this year. I think Ryan Newman can be a solid 15th place guy. Eric says you're still charging me for NFL. I'm not doing it personally. You gotta cancel it because I can't control on Patreon. I'd stop it if I could. I didn't even know people were still on NFL, to be honest. Mike says sign up on Patreon, get the optimizer, hit the like button. Good luck, everyone. Yeah, I agree with everything Mike just said. If you want the optimizer with the ownership projections, all that fun stuff is on there for you guys. That donkey said would love to see what Suarez would do with the 23. Yeah. I mean, I think Suarez could probably be putting up some better numbers in the 23 than Bubba Wallace is. I mean, nothing against Bubba, but he's been having a really bad season so far. Really bad. Definitely thought it'd be a little bit better. Thought we'd see some top 10s, but he's been awful. Craig says, all Joe Gibbs stack is my YOLO. YOLO, you said pucks, man. I'm assuming you mean picks. Yeah, I like Gibbs today. I like him quite a bit. Yes, I only do DK on Patreon, so if you do FanDuel only or another sport, I can't help you there, so I would not recommend signing up. So I do apologize for that. I just only do DraftKings. Anyone would be doing better than Bubba? I'm not sure Quinn Howell or those kind of guys would be doing better than Bubba. Hamlin, Larson, Kurt Busch, Priest, LaJoie, and Dillon. I think that's pretty solid. Hamlin and Larson is your Doms. You got Kurt Busch, place differential, finishing position guy. Dillon, yeah, I don't think that's a bad lineup at all. I'm actually really close to that as my main lineup. Like, really close. Yeah, trying to think of who my last guy was. Dustin says, last time I'll ask for GPP, Larson, Hamlin, Bell, Matty D, Priest, and LaJoie. Yeah, I got nothing wrong with that. Matty D is your pure contrarian play there, but if he doesn't suck today, I think you're fine. Hamlin, Harvick, Bowman, Almirola, Chastain, and Priest. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I like all those guys. I would definitely agree with Suarez in the 23. Bubba just does not have the skill. I mean, I feel like it's kind of hurting him. Where it's just a brand new team and we're still in the COVID era. But the same thing could be said with Suarez, so I hate to use that excuse. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a good race today. Nixter says Byron or Kess. Oh, Price doesn't matter, Keselowski. On DraftKings, though, like if Price does matter, I like Byron more. Because we are using the same tire combination as Homestead, and I think we all know what happened at Homestead was William Byron. I'm not really comfortable leaving too much down on the table today, Cardinal. If you're just building regular lineups and you follow the rules, like 2 DOMs, and I think you're doing fine even if you have like close to 1,000 over the table. But I don't know the exact number on what my lineups would be. I can't imagine I have anything above like 1,200 though. I can't back that up because I haven't. I would have to look, but it's my assumption. Good luck, Stan. Appreciate it. Busch or Almirola more? Well, I like Almirola a little bit more. I will tell you right now, I have the exact same ownership on Kurt Busch and Almirola today. But like raw points wise, I think I have Almirola a little bit above Kurt Busch. That donkey says, yeah, I think Bubba deserves another year with the new team before we go replacing him. I agree. I want to see another year. Maybe we'll in the next gen car, it'll be better. You know, another year at the shop. Everyone gets more people in there. COVID's done. And I think that'll be probably a better indicator of what we'll see from Bubba. First pasta question. Had to know, did you put pasta in any lineups? I got a little bit, like just a little handful of them, a little sprinkle. Just starting 25th, I realize he's cheap, but it's so hard to play pasta because he sucks. There's no more spots, Todd. I do apologize. I think I sent you an invite, though. Yeah, I sent you an invite yesterday. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I think it filled like at 1 today, about 1 o'clock. Any thoughts on the Busch brothers? I like Kurt Busch a lot. Kyle Busch, not so much. I know he won last week, but I'd rather play pretty much everyone around him more. So I got a little bit of Kyle, but I'd much rather play like Kurt Busch. I think is one of the best plays today. You have an uncomfortable amount of Chastain and Priest. I do too, because there's just no other good cheap plays down low today, so it's like you kind of have to flock to those guys. But Chastain's got top 15 upside, so I don't hate it. I know he's starting 18th, which kind of sucks, but kind of have to live with it. I'm torn between Hamlin and Truex today. That's a tough question for sure. I personally prefer Hamlin a little bit more. Plus, he's starting 3 spots further back, so it just makes me have like a slight lean to him. But both are excellent plays. Craig said, "What are the chances of another lost tire giving a random yellow flag? It hit me last week hard." Yeah, that's been my last were a downfall because I was doing good the entire race. Like I thought it was gonna be a really good day. I was well into the green, had a lineup in first place for the majority of the day, and I forget. I don't know exactly how it shuffled out, but it did not work out for me that random caution because then there was wrecks and then there was restarts. Just did not work in my favor whatsoever, which sucked, unfortunately. We started this at 2:15, right? I like to usually go an hour, so 3:06. We got about like 5-10 minutes left. I think that's probably good. We still got like over 300 people in here, close to an hour in, so I do appreciate everyone stopping by. Okay, let's see. You're only picking drivers based on car paint schemes today. Hey, that could work. It's throwback weekend if you guys didn't know, so there's gonna be a lot of. So if you didn't know that and you just turn on the race today, you're gonna be like, who in the heck are these drivers? Because these paint schemes do not look the same. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Even the tires have the throwback lettering, the Goodyear ones, so that's kind of cool as well. Thanks, Smokey. Appreciate it. I look forward to these streams every week. It's so fun doing these streams. Everyone in here is pretty cool. Thomas says, how do you know who is going to the rear or not? You basically just follow Bob on Twitter and he'll tweet him out. It's like the only information we get for guys going to the rear. So if you want that information, just follow Bob Pockras. It's exactly how it sounds on Twitter. He's the Fox reporter, and he does a really good job. The other NASCAR reporters are a little iffy. I think Chris Knight's solid. But Bob's the GOAT at the reporting. Jeff Gluck's good as well. Jeff Gluck and Bob Pockras, I'd say the best. Jennifer Fire's not bad either. But yeah, so those are the two best. Keselowski or Harvick, Jalen asks. I would say, when I say Harvick, it's close. I want to say Harvick, though. Just a little bit cheaper. Aaron says, what are my better chances? The Pasta Man top 10 or me eating 5-year outdated pasta Alfredo after not getting ill? Well, I would probably say, I'd say the first one, because you're definitely going to get sick eating that. So, I mean, I think both are very, Pasta Man's not going to get top 10 unless it's like a Talladega race, but I'll have to go with the first option there. Chase says 33 minutes. Yeah, you know what? I forgot I have to edit my Chase light exposure, so I might have to get off here in like a couple minutes now because I just forgot about that. So, yeah, I'm probably going to, my plans for that is upping my Bowman, probably. Maybe upping some Harvick, maybe upping some Keselowski. I know it's $800 difference, but I might be able to do that. Maybe some more Byron, but I'm going to drop Elliott a little bit. Ricky Bobby, number 1. Yeah, debatable. People are saying thank you, so I feel like this is my cue to leave. Okay, well, Dustin says Larson, Hamlin, Byron, LaJoy, Priest, and Stein. I like that. I mean, if Byron can get fast laps today, stay within the top 5, maybe pick up some laps out as well, I think he's a very good play, $800. They got my boy Blaney on pre-race right now. Isn't this car black? I think it looks pretty good today. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not rooting for Blaney today. Unfortunately, don't tell him that. But Colin says, sorry if I asked earlier. No problem. Who is your scrubs group? Max one of sub 6K in a single lineup. So my scrub group starts at Justin, Haley, and below, and it's a max of 1. I'm not including LaJoy and Priest in the scrub group just because of how bad the other cheap plays are today. All right, guys, I think I'm going to get out of here. Michael says he's more of a cold trickle man. All right, I want to thank everyone for stopping by. Make sure you tell your mom Happy Mother's Day if you haven't already. I will be out. I have to get up at 4 tomorrow morning to go catch a flight. So I'll post some stuff on Instagram and Twitter if anyone's interested in seeing some Florida stuff. But yeah, I'm going to out here, guys. Appreciate everyone stopping by. I think we had well over 300 people, so pretty cool. And I will... Wait, Tooch says, has anyone ever met a woman who loves DFS? My girlfriend does, and that's why she is awesome. And I will end it with that, and I will see you guys next week. And I forget where we're racing, but I'm sure it'll be fine anyway. So see you guys next week, and I'll wish you guys the best of luck.